to Transformational Vedic Astrology. This is Michael Mastro, and today we're going to be looking at the chart of Alan Watts, who is a very popular writer in the 60s, wrote The Way of Zen, which was a very popular book introducing Zen Buddhism to the American public. If you look to the eastern horizon when he was born, you would see the constellation associated with the 8th sign, which is Scorpio, rising at 26 degrees. 26 becomes the most effective point of every house. Any planet, like Mercury, that's within 5 degrees, has impact in this chart. First, we're going to look at see how the planets are operating. Then we'll look at see when they're operating during certain points in his life. Then we'll look and see what we could do to fix this chart and improve his situation. So let's start off with Sun. Sun is at 22 degrees, again, close to the most effective point. And we want to first see how the planets are, the functionality of the planets. We know that any planets that are multiconal signs, they take preference. So 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 11 are the multiconal signs. So any of those multiconal signs that fall in the 6th, the 8th, or the 12th becomes functional malefic. So Mars ruling Aries is a functional malefic. Venus ruling Libra is a functional malefic, along with Rahu and Ketu. The rest are benefics. Now that's not to say that the benefics planets won't cause harm ever, or the malefics always will cause harm. It just depends on how they're operating in the transit and in the birth chart. So Sun is at 22 degrees, close to the most effective point. It is ruling the house of career. So it says that he can have a career through his organizational skills, his ability to teach and lead, and because the Sun is in this house, it gives him persuasive, speech, but it is afflicted by Mars. Mars is the house of conflict and health issues, so it is controversial, persuasive speech in his writings. Then we have Mars afflicting Sun gives heart issues with the heart. He died of heart failure. Moon is at 18 degrees. It is ruling the house of good fortune and religion, placed in the career house. So Moon itself is public, and it is representing religion and good fortune. So it says that he can have good fortune through speaking about religion. And so he was a minister at some point, and definitely a teacher. Mars is at 18 degrees. We know that it's functional malefic, and it's close to the most, just barely close to the most effective point. So it is ruling this house of healing, this house of conflict and health, and it gives healing others through courage. Mars itself is courage, and persuasive, again, controversial speech, being in this house of speech. So that, and then also this is the house of the continuation of the marital bond. So you have this malefic here afflicting or causing issues here, so it can affect the marital bond. He was married 3 times. Mercury's at 22 degrees. Mercury is communication, close to the most effective point. It's afflicted again by Mars, so gives again speech, communication that's controversial, and his ability to write and publish. Jupiter's at 0 degrees, so very weak. Any planet that's less than 5 degrees or more than 25 becomes weak, cannot protect its own significations. So Jupiter represents children, it's ruling the house of a continuation of the marital bond and wealth and recognition. So, and it's placed in the house of happiness and family. So it's being it's within 5 degrees of Rahu. So Rahu is afflicting it. So that means he will operate outside the norms of normal morality. That means he has extra marital affairs, and that caused him actually to be kicked out of the ministry. And let's see. So yeah, and then again affecting the discontinuation of the marital bond, highs and lows in his marital life, 3 marriages, and really operating outside the norms of society, creating his own morality. So Venus is at 10 degrees, represents wife, also rules the house of spiritual growth through letting go of attachments. And Venus is placed in this house of life purpose. So it gives him the ability Venus represents fine arts. So he was a writer, that is his life purpose. And it's, again, ruling this house about spirituality. So he's writing about spiritual things. And because it's in this house of separation, he lived a secluded type of life, which was not conducive to family. So he had 3 marriages. And also drugs were involved. So Venus can be due to drugs. And then he moved during a Venus period to the United States. So this is living in foreign lands as well. 3 wives, yeah. So Saturn is 4 degrees, afflicted by Rahu. So Rahu afflicts 5, 7, and 9 houses. Jupiter, afflicted by Rahu. It's afflicting Saturn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, afflicting 5 houses away. And Saturn is longevity. So Rahu's afflicting his longevity. And his family life is represented, this is Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, and is placed in this house of obstacles, so creating obstacles for his family life. Rahu gives desire for happiness and family life, and K2 gives a spiritual career. So those two definitely operating in his life. Let's look at the timing of events. We see that he was born, the root of his tree of life is Venus. He was born during a Venus period, and then, which gives him that, ability to be a writer. And then he moved to the United States during a moon period to study theology. And then he left the ministry in 1950 during a Rahu period, which made him very restless. Again, causing extramarital affair that got him kicked out of the ministry. And then he wrote The Way of Zen in 1957 during a Mercury-Jupiter period, which gave him that writing skill. And I think Venus was involved there too. Then he got married 3 times. So again, he had this during this period where the Venus causing separation, Jupiter causing, ending the marital bond, being afflicted by Rahu. And he was using drugs as well to experiment and do research into his perception and writing about it. Then he died on November 16th, 1973 of heart failure. So if we look at the transit period, that was a Jupiter period. And then let's look at the chart for that time of death. So here we see natal Saturn afflicting K2, K2 afflicting Saturn representing longevity, being afflicted by transiting K2, and also conjunct transiting Saturn, all happening in the house of death-like experiences. So quite a bit going on there in terms of K2 is within 5 degrees of Saturn, so lot going on to, cause K2 is sudden events, and then, we see Sun is just moving out of this house of death, end of life as well. So, and Sun represents heart. So yeah, quite a bit going on there. Now, what could we do to improve the chart? So we want to transform Mars by helping men that are like brothers on Tuesdays and listening to Hanuman chants. We want to help women transform Venus by not wearing diamonds or red coral, and helping women on Fridays, listening to Lakshmi chants on Fridays. We want to strengthen the rest of the planets. So Sun with a ruby and wearing orange, and a kavash that contains a locket that contains the Devata yantra for Sun. Moon we want to strengthen by wearing a moonstone or the kavash containing the locket, the Devata yantra for Moon, wearing white. Mars, we could, we don't want to strengthen the malefic. So Mercury, wearing green on Wednesdays, and he could wear an emerald on his pinky finger. And then Jupiter, we could strengthen with a yellow sapphire or the locket containing the Devata yantra for Jupiter, as well as he could wear a yellow sapphire and help spiritual organizations, help children with Mercury. Then you could, Rahu and Ketu could be transformed by helping Ketu, by helping spiritual organizations and listening to Ganesh chants. Rahu listening to Shiva chants and helping those who cannot help themselves. So these are the things that we could do to improve his longevity, his health, and his heart situation, and probably less marriages. So these are the main points for Alan Watts' chart. If you're interested in getting a transformational Vedic astrology reading, you could go to www.vastucreations.com. Under services, there's several types of astrology readings you could get: a yearly, a 3-year, or a life reading, or a relationship compatibility reading. And then you could learn to be certified as a Vedic astrologer at American Institute of Vastu.com. We have a level 1 and level 2 certification for this transformation Vedic astrology. As you can see, it's quite accurate, and it really explained Alan Watts' life in great detail. So thank you for joining. I hope to see you again on this YouTube channel.